Coming up on OU Nightly, the fire threat continues to increase across Oklahoma. We'll have the latest on that forecast.
A state of emergency is declared for parts of northwest Oklahoma. Hear from fire officials across the state. Students walk out in protest across the state. See which schools suspended over 100 students and what the governor has to say about it. This is OU Nightly.
Fire danger remains high across the state today. Thanks for watching OU Nightly. I'm Michael Thompson.
And I'm Abby Hollinsworth. A red flag warning continues through Thursday evening. OU Nightly meteorologist Garrett Tarver is with us with the forecast. Garrett.
Yeah, our fire threat across Oklahoma continuing to increase. This evening, we have that red flag warning out for Cleveland County until 8 p.m. We have another one including tomorrow, so 10 a.m. through 8 p.m. on Thursday. It's dry, hot, and windy. That's all we need for fire conditions. OU Nightly meteorologist McKinley Potter is out there. Tell us about it, McKinley.
Yeah, Garrett, right now I'm off of Constitution Street at Fire Station 3 in Norman, and we are feeling those fire conditions. You can see my hair whipping in the wind. Those winds have picked up. We're also very warm outside, and we're tracking those humidity levels as they have dropped significantly from yesterday. Now, I know Garrett has all those details, so I'll hand it back to him.
Thanks, McKinley. Yeah, she wasn't kidding. 15% for our humidity here in Norman. We're going to get into the single digits in some areas for that. So really dry. Those winds, 15 miles an hour, they've been steadily increasing. So we're going to look at that overall fire threat. We have a cold front coming through, see how that's going to affect things, as well as air quality issues. We'll send it back to you.
Many buildings burned down from a wildfire named the 43 Road Fire that impacted Woodward, Oklahoma. OU Nightly's Bryn Mead spoke to emergency management officials from the area about their next steps. Bryn.
Michael, this morning, Governor Kevin Stitt signed an executive order declaring a state of emergency for Beaver, Texas, and Woodward counties in Oklahoma. Now, while far out west, that closest county to here, Woodward, is only a 2.5-hour drive from right here. Now, a state of emergency allows more deployed resources, funding, and personnel to these areas in need. Officials say the fire was fueled by a dangerous combination of weather and dry cedar trees. Woodward Emergency Management Director Matt Lehenbauer says that the 60-mile-per-hour gusts were quite concerning. Lehenbauer says that while wildfires typically peak later in the year, this early spring combination of high winds and low humidity created extreme conditions. He says crews from across the state responded, many working long hours with limited breaks as departments canceled vacations and increased staffing. Officials are now applying for a federal emergency declaration which would help reimburse response costs and assist landowners with damages. Even though the fire is now almost contained, the risk remains high across central Oklahoma. Deputy Chief Joel Chesser says that the team is working to maintain connection with Oklahoma Forestry Services. Fire officials across the state say departments have been in preparation mode all week, increasing staffing, coordinating with state forestry crews, and preparing mutual and partners if conditions worsen. Officials are saying that residents need to stay alert for evacuation notices and prepare a go bag with identification, insurance, documents, water, and essential supplies if conditions worsen. Live from Station 3 in Norman, Bryn Mead, OU Nightly.
Thank you, Bryn. The Cleveland County Sheriff's Office wants to remind people the county is still in the burn ban and all outdoor burning is not allowed during this time. This includes trash, brush, or any other debris, and they're asking residents to use extra caution and avoid activities that could spark a fire. Sheriff Amison says his deputies are going to patrol as normal, but enforce fire safety in the area.
The biggest thing is our deputies are just out on their regular patrol, but they are being more vigilant for smoke that they may see, or they're obviously, if they see smoke, they're driving straight to it, and we're going to investigate.
They sent out the information of the burn ban and fire safety on their new mobile app. We'll have more on their latest initiative later in this week.
Mark Zuckerberg testified in court today for claims his platforms Meta and YouTube include addictive material for children. Madison Dealey has that and the rest of today's national and international headlines from the
You're right, Michael. Mark Zuckerberg testified in a Los Angeles court today after a woman accused YouTube and Meta for harming her mental health as a child. The 20-year-old, known as Kaylee, only in court documents, says that her early use of the social media platforms is the reason for her depression and suicidal thoughts. She also says the platforms deliberately use features that become addicting to children. TikTok and Snapchat were also named, however, settled before trial. 8 skiers have been found dead and 6 have been rescued, and 1 is still missing after an avalanche came crashing down on Tuesday on California's Sierra Nevada mountains. Officials say the group of 15 skiers were ending their 3-day trip near Lake Tahoe just before getting caught in the disaster. The avalanche is the deadliest in California's history so far. Rescue efforts are still locating that 1 missing member. And today is Ash Wednesday, the start of Lent for 1.4 billion Catholics all over the world. The new Archbishop Ronald Hicks is in New York City leading today's traditions. Lent is a 40-day period leading up to Holy Thursday, Good Friday, Holy Saturday, and Easter. Sunday, April 5th marks Easter this year for Catholics and Christians to celebrate. Today marks 10 years since the death of the famous author Harper Lee. Lee died at age 89. Lee's novel To Kill a Mockingbird is still considered an American classic. Lee also received the Presidential Medal of Freedom in 2007.
Thank you, Madison. An Oklahoma public school suspends over 100 students for protesting. Find out what Governor Kevin Stitt has to say about the suspensions.
Plus, Shia LaBeouf speaking out on X after his arrest. What he posted after the break. Over 100 students were put on in-school suspension after an ICE walkout at Mustang High School. Mustang Public Schools said the walkout was not school approved or sponsored. They also said the 122 students were given their suspensions for leaving classes and missing school, not for the content of their speech. In a statement on Facebook praising Mustang Superintendent, Governor Kevin Stitt said free speech is sacred, but truancy robs your future. Stay in school, build skills, and make your voice heard responsibly.
And Bad Bunny is in the headlines for the 3rd week in a row. Gracie Steinbrink has that and more in today's entertainment report.
Abby, this music artist has been on every stage you can think of. The Grammys, the Super Bowl, and now the big screen. Bad Bunny is taking on his first lead role in the historical drama Puerto Rico. The film is said to be an epic Caribbean Western, inspired by true events surrounding Puerto Rico's origins. A release date has not been announced. Actor Shia LaBeouf is speaking out after being arrested for allegedly assaulting 2 people during Mardi Gras in New Orleans yesterday morning. LaBeouf posted on his X account, "Free me," this morning. Police took him away after he reportedly became aggressive and punched the 2 victims. Now he is facing battery assault charges. Bruce Springsteen is launching his new tour, The Land of Hopes and Dreams. The rock star says the tour will be in celebration and defense of America, with shows in Minneapolis, Portland, Oregon, and Los Angeles, where ICE has been most present. Tickets go on sale this week. Michael, Abby.
Thank you, Gracie. One of the most popular furniture stores is opening its doors in the Sooner State.
Coming up, we'll tell you which city in Oklahoma will be home to the furniture store that sells meatballs. Stay with us.
We'll have an update on that fire threat continuing to increase across the state coming up next. Welcome back to OU Nightly. Here's a picture, video of the Ranger Road fire out there in Beaver County yesterday from the Oklahoma Forestry Service. I mean, just crazy. These winds blowing yesterday, 60, 65 miles an hour, super dry. Temperatures getting up into the 70s. Now, this is the 43 Road fire, which was out there in Woodward. This is the Oklahoma Mesonette site. It just burned everything up real quick through there. That grass burns really quickly. Gets really hot too. That's why, look at that. it melted the instruments out there. So those teams are out there getting everything set back up for this. But it's just really crazy to see the impact of these fires. Not only do they move fast, but they move hot, and they're causing issues across the state. A few of those current wildfires, a few of them smaller ones popping up, but the big one up there, that's the Ranger Road fire up there in Beaver County into southern Kansas. Still flare-ups with that fire. So if you're in any of those areas, anywhere really across the state, you're wanting to stay alert for today into tomorrow as the fire threat increases. Rachel, she's out there looking at the fuel for the fire. How's it looking, Rachel?
Yeah, Garrett, if my hair is any testament to how windy it is out here in Oklahoma, it is very windy. We are sitting out here in front of some of this dry grass, which is going to be the biggest contributor to some of these fires for this fire danger risk. Now, this dry grass back here, we haven't seen the amount of rain that we were expected to see last week, which means a lot more vegetation is a lot more dry. There's not a lot of water in these plants, which means there's no cooling agent. So these patches of dry grass back here, they're going to go up a lot quicker than what you would have that green grass out in these fields. So make sure you're keeping up with OU Nightly. We'll keep you updated with that fire danger risk. Garrett, back to you.
Thanks, Rachel. Yeah, you know, this grass, we haven't had a whole lot of rain. We were supposed to have a lot a couple weeks ago or last weekend, and we only got a 1/4 inch here in Cleveland County. So not near enough to break that drought that we've seen. We're in an extreme drought. And while those winds, 16 miles an hour, so up a little bit from earlier, still gusting up to 30 miles an hour in Guyman. The Panhandle is in that extreme threat today. We're going to see that move on in, though, as we get into tomorrow. Now, our humidity, again, 15%. I mean, this is low. Once you get to 20%, it's pretty much all the same. It's dry. Any sparks that come up, I mean, they light up. Fire spreads real quickly with those winds and those temperatures. That's why, again, red flag warning for today. That's through 8 p.m. tonight. We're going to see another one in effect from 10 a.m. through 8 p.m. on Thursday. Now, I'm getting a little bit more worried about Thursday. These winds, what we're seeing up here is going to move into central Oklahoma as we get into tomorrow. So 33 in Woodward today, 29 in Norman for that max wind gust, according to the Oklahoma Mesonet. That fire risk today, we're right there on the edge of the critical and the elevated. That's going to move down, though. Like I said, Thursday, we see that extreme threat get into central Oklahoma along I-35 from Ponca City and Enid down through Oklahoma City into Norman, stretching along I-40 out to the west into Elk City. So fire conditions continuing. We're going to have those wind gusts start out this afternoon in the 20s. They're going to get into those upper 20s as the sun starts to set. But tomorrow, this is where we're going to really see it start to pick up. Going to shift out of the south and then start moving to the north and east. 31 for Norman around the early afternoon hours. It's going to stay pretty much the same thing. Going to keep on moving in. Thursday, 3 p.m. still gusting into those 30s up to the north. We could see a few pockets of 40 miles an hour, maybe 45 in some areas. We're keeping a close eye on it. Friday, though, not looking too bad. So that threat going to eventually go away. We don't have any clouds really for today into tomorrow. It's just sun heating us up into those 70s. It's going to be a little bit cooler as we get into tomorrow, though. And then Friday, that cold front really going to start to affect us. 67 on Thursday. Temperatures dip off into Friday 50s for the rest of the weekend. Into the beginning of next week, we warm right up again. And look, we're looking at another fire threat into next week. So we're going to keep an eye on that. The air quality, though, from all this wildfire smoke and blowing dust, not too bad right now. Up to the far northeast at a moderate. So a few of you could have some issues with that. Now, have an evacuation plan, multiple ways of receiving alerts. Don't park on the grass and report any smoke and fires that you see to your local authorities. We want to make sure that that stays under control. Now, your 7-day forecast, 60s. Then we have that move through 50s, and then fire threat increases again next week. We've had no rain. It's not helping us.
No, this wind is not letting up, is it?
No, it's not.
Tell me about allergies, because clearly I'm a beacon of health up here. I've been sniffling all day. Yeah. What are the allergies looking like outside with this wind?
They're horrible. I mean, we have trees high. Cedar is the big contributor, and as we get dry and the wind blows, it just makes it worse.
Yeah, well, I'm living proof of that, that's for sure.
Yeah. Okay, well, thank you, Garrett. IKEA, the world's largest furniture store, is coming to Oklahoma. The company announcing yesterday their first Oklahoma location will be in Tulsa. Now, that's about a 2-hour drive from Norman. So the big question is, would you make the trip? We asked some students if they would.
I think Oklahoma City would definitely be a better place for it, but oh well.
If it's coming to Tulsa, it's probably closer than driving back down to Dallas, so I'd make the trip. I'm excited. I like it.
The city of Tulsa says they expect IKEA to bring in $30 to $40 million annually. The store is set to open fall of this year.
Well, coming up in sports, OU men's basketball has a chance to extend their win streak or go down in flames.
And OU softball has been on a dominant run this season. Hear how they plan to continue to improve.
That's right, OU football has found the hole that leads to their next coaching hire. Who is it and what experience does he bring with him? I'll have this and more after the break. Hello, I'm Landon Thomas, and it's time for sports. OU football has found their next running backs coach, and Sooner fans should be ecstatic because Deland McCullough comes to OU with 15 years of experience from both the professional and college level. He last coached at Las Vegas with the Raiders, with running back Ashton Jeanty put up together over 1,000 scrimmage yards last year. The last time an OU running back did that was Kennedy Brooks back in 2021. And a fire in the LNC is all it took for OU men's basketball to get back on the right track. After beating Georgia on Valentine's Day, the Sooners are looking for their third straight win against Tennessee in Knoxville tonight. Head coach Porter Moser says he was never worried about his team catching fire.
It wasn't relief, all right? We had one of our hardest practices intentionally Monday after of the bye week, and it was because, you know, put your foot on the gas, chase. You know, there's always a path. There's always a path if you're believing. And your sight line, I said that line, our sight line was just what was in front of us, and that was Georgia. And now we'll have a new sight line for next Wednesday.
And OU softball was on fire last weekend as well when they beat UTEP 34-0 on Sunday, falling just 2 runs short of their program record. With back-to-back games tomorrow against Cal State Fullerton and San Diego State, head coach Patty Gassos knows that pushing their limits is how they'll continue to improve.
I just always believe iron sharpens iron, and anybody that is in a position, whether it's Kendall, Bella, Sydney Barker, you know, trying to win a position or what have you, it's just letting your competition make you better and not surrender to it and not let it get in your head and not let it control your world.
OU women's basketball heads to Athens tomorrow for their matchup against number 24 Georgia after beating Alabama. This will be the Sooners' 10th ranked matchup of the year with a chance to extend their win streak to 3 games. Tip-off is at 5:30 p.m. Staying with women's hoops, today OU head coach Jenny Baranczyk was named to the Women's College Coach of the Year watch list. This is her 3rd time being among the top 15 nominated in her 5 seasons at OU. Michael, Abby.
Thanks, Landon. Snoop wasn't the only dog that made an appearance at the Winter Olympics in Milan.
After the break, see what four-legged friend took matters into his own hands trying to win a gold medal.
I'm Sky Clausen at the OU Nightly Update Desk, following an update on an investigation audit requested by Governor Kevin Stitt that was made in September of 2021. The audit was following an unprecedented COVID-19 school closure of Epic charter schools. Today, there was no evidence found of financial misconduct at the Oklahoma State Department of Education. Abby, Michael, back to you in the studio.
Thank you, Sky. And we've got a little bit more from Garrett over at our Weather Center. Garrett, what can you tell us?
Well, I just want to highlight the extreme risk that we have moving into tomorrow because we're under a critical today, but it's going to get worse with those higher winds tomorrow. So again, this is going to be along I-35 from Enid, in between Enid and Ponca City, down through Norman, I-40 from Oklahoma City out to Elk City. Strong winds, dry, warm temperatures, that's all you need. We're going to have fires kicking up. We have a couple in the state. Now, I want to highlight, have an evacuation plan. Have what you need. If you have medication, make sure you have it in a bag ready to go in case a mandatory evacuation is set for your area. And you're going to get that through receiving alerts. Make sure you have those turned on your phone, or you stay tuned to news sources, anything like that. Don't park on dry grass. It's going to light it right up, and then report those smoke, fire, anything you see. That 7-day forecast, well, we have that fire threat on Thursday, okay? 67 degrees, so a little bit cooler than it was today, but nonetheless, we have those strong winds coming out of the south. Going to shift to the north once that cold front moves through, and that could cause issues with stopping those fires. When that fire changes directions, it can cause issues for those firefighters. But Friday, no fire threat. 58 degrees for us. Saturday, Sunday looking about average, 52, 53, and then into the beginning of next week, we see those temperatures start to warm back up. I'm worried about Tuesday right now. We're looking at a critical fire threat across central and western Oklahoma, so we'll keep an eye on that as we get closer. Something to keep an eye on, though. But we do have a few fires popping up in central Oklahoma, so stay alert as we get into this evening.
So what can people expect if they need in those go bags? Just to remind everybody.
Clothes, water, medication, your phone charger, you want your IDs, anything like that. So Social Security, you want everything you need in case your house burns down. I mean, that's what it is.
Okay, thank you, Garrett. And over in Milan, there was a surprise competitor who decided to join a women's cross-country skiing qualifying event Wednesday.
Nazgul, a Czechoslovakian dog, joined the race out of nowhere and crossed the finish line along with the competitors. Nazgul belongs to one of the event officials who was working the event. The pup didn't interfere with the race, but he did steal the show. I think he earns a gold medal for that performance, honestly.
Yeah, I'd agree. But my question is, do you think you could keep up with him?
I think I could, but could you?
Definitely not.
I don't think so. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for watching OU Nightly. I'm Michael Thompson.
And I'm Abby Hollinsworth. Be sure to watch OU Nightly live weekdays at 4:30. Have a good night.